Caffeine, a stimulant found in coffee, tea, cola, and chocolate, is one of the most widely consumed psychoactive substances in the world. While it is often used to improve alertness and concentration, its effects on sleep are significant and can be detrimental if not managed properly. Disrupt circadian rhythm. Caffeine can significantly disrupt the circadian rhythm, which is the body's internal clock that regulates sleep and wakefulness. Consuming caffeine can delay the timing of the body clock, leading to delayed sleep onset and potentially disturbing the sleep cycle. Reduces sleep quality. Even if you manage to fall asleep after consuming caffeine, the quality of your sleep can be compromised. Caffeine can reduce the amount of deep sleep, a critical stage for restorative sleep, leaving you feeling less rested in the morning. Increases time to fall asleep. Caffeine can increase the amount of time it takes to fall asleep. This is particularly troublesome for people who already struggle with insomnia or other sleep disorders. The alertness-promoting effects of caffeine can make it harder to relax and wind down at bedtime. Alters sleep architecture. Caffeine changes the normal stages of sleep. It decreases slow-wave sleep, the deep, restorative phase, and REM sleep, the dream phase. This alteration can lead to less restorative sleep and affect cognitive function and mood the next day. Increases nighttime awakenings. Caffeine consumption can lead to more frequent awakenings during the night and a lighter sleep overall. This fragmented sleep can reduce overall sleep quality and lead to grogginess and irritability the next day. Long half-life. Caffeine has a long half-life, meaning it takes a long time for it to be broken down and eliminated from the body. On average, it takes about 5 to 6 hours for half of the caffeine consumed to be eliminated. Therefore, consuming caffeine even in the afternoon can affect your sleep at night. Individual variability. The effect of caffeine on sleep varies greatly among individuals. Some people may metabolize caffeine quickly and not feel its effects strongly, while others may be more sensitive and experience sleep disturbances even with small amounts of caffeine. Dependence and withdrawal. Regular consumption of caffeine can lead to dependence, and withdrawal can cause symptoms like headache, fatigue, and irritability. These symptoms can also interfere with sleep. Worsens sleep disorders. For those with existing sleep disorders, such as sleep apnea or insomnia, caffeine can exacerbate the symptoms. It can make it more difficult to maintain a regular sleep schedule and can intensify the severity of sleep-related problems. Can cause restlessness and anxiety. High doses of caffeine can cause feelings of restlessness and anxiety, which can make it difficult to relax and fall asleep. This is particularly significant for individuals prone to anxiety disorders. Mitigating caffeine's effects. To minimize the impact of caffeine on sleep, it is advisable to limit caffeine consumption to the morning hours and reduce the overall intake. Opting for decaffeinated beverages in the afternoon and evening can also help. Hydration. Caffeine has diuretic properties, which can lead to dehydration. Dehydration can negatively impact sleep quality, so it's important to stay well hydrated if you consume caffeinated beverages. Balancing effects with other substances. Sometimes, people try to counteract the effects of caffeine with alcohol or sleep medications. This can create a cycle of stimulation and sedation that is harmful to sleep quality and overall health. Impact on sleep latency. Caffeine can significantly impact the time it takes to fall asleep, known as sleep latency. People who consume caffeine close to bedtime often find themselves lying awake, unable to drift off. This is because caffeine blocks the action of adenosine, a neurotransmitter that promotes sleep, thereby delaying the onset of sleep. Aggravates sleep-related conditions. For those suffering from conditions like restless leg syndrome or bruxism, teeth grinding, caffeine can exacerbate symptoms, leading to more pronounced discomfort and further disrupting sleep. Impairs hormonal regulation. Sleep is a time for the body to regulate various hormones, including those responsible for growth and appetite control. Caffeine consumption can impair this hormonal regulation, potentially leading to long-term health consequences like weight gain and stunted growth in adolescence. Influence on stress hormones. Caffeine stimulates the production of stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline. Elevated levels of these hormones can create a state of heightened alertness that is counterproductive to relaxing and preparing for sleep. Affects sleep quantity. Not only does caffeine impact the quality of sleep, but it can also reduce the overall quantity of sleep. People consuming high amounts of caffeine often find themselves unable to attain the recommended 7 to 9 hours of sleep per night, leading to a cumulative sleep debt over time. Contributes to insomnia. High caffeine intake is associated with an increased risk of developing insomnia. Insomnia is characterized by difficulty falling asleep, staying asleep, or experiencing non-restorative sleep. Reducing caffeine intake, especially later in the day, can be an effective strategy for managing insomnia symptoms. Interferes with deep sleep, or slow-wave sleep, is critical for physical renewal, hormonal regulation, and growth. Caffeine consumption, particularly in large amounts, can significantly reduce the time spent in deep sleep, impairing its restorative benefits. Influences on REM sleep, rapid eye movement, REM. Sleep is the dream phase of sleep and is important for processing emotions and consolidating memories. Caffeine can reduce the duration of REM sleep, which may have implications for cognitive functions like learning and memory. Age-related sensitivity. As people age, their sensitivity to caffeine tends to increase. Older adults may find that their sleep is more easily disrupted by caffeine, and thus, may need to adjust their intake accordingly. Genetic factors. Individual genetic variations influence how the body metabolizes caffeine. Some people may have a genetic predisposition that leads to slower processing of caffeine, making them more susceptible to its sleep-disrupting effects. Strategies for better sleep. To mitigate the sleep-disrupting effects of caffeine, consider limiting your overall daily intake and avoid consuming caffeine late in the day or in the evening. Opting for caffeine-free herbal teas or warm milk can be a comforting pre-bedtime ritual that doesn't interfere with sleep. Caffeine tolerance. Regular consumption of caffeine can lead to increased tolerance, meaning that over time, higher doses are required to achieve the same stimulating effects. However, this tolerance does not diminish the negative impact on sleep, leading to a problematic cycle for sleep quality. Monitoring caffeine sources. Be mindful of hidden sources of caffeine, such as certain medications, energy drinks, and even some types of flavored waters or snacks. In summary, while caffeine serves as a valuable aid in enhancing alertness and concentration, it is crucial to be conscious of its significant impact on sleep. Thoughtfully moderating caffeine consumption and carefully considering its timing can lead to substantial improvements in both sleep quality and overall health. Understanding the specific ways in which caffeine affects your sleep, and adjusting your intake accordingly, is key to maintaining healthy sleep patterns and ensuring that caffeine remains a beneficial part of your routine without detrimental effects.